Betrayal has a way of creeping up on you when you least expect it. I never thought I'd be the man whose wife threw away years of marriage for a fleeting romance. I had always believed in loyalty, in love, in the sacred bond of marriage. But when I discovered the truth, that my wife had chosen another man over me, I didn't just walk away. No, I made sure she felt the weight of her betrayal in ways she never saw coming. Before I reveal how I uncovered her lies and orchestrated the perfect revenge, hit that subscribe button. This story is packed with deception, heartbreak, and a twist that left her with nothing but regret. You won't want to miss a single detail. For 15 years, I thought I had a solid, loving marriage. My wife, Laura, and I met in college, fell deeply in love, and built the beautiful life together. We had a nice home, successful careers, and what I believed was a deep emotional connection. I worked hard, always making sure she had everything she needed. She had freedom, love, support, everything. But love, I learned, is only real if both people cherish it. And Laura had stopped cherishing ours long before I realized it. It started as a feeling, one I ignored for too long. Laura had always been affectionate, always present in our marriage. But slowly, she began to change. The late nights at work became more frequent. The excuses grew lazier. The phone, once casually left on the table, was now glued to her hand, her screen always tilted away from my sight. She started dressing differently, more effort, more perfume, more time spent looking perfect. At first, I convinced myself she was just trying to feel good about herself. But then, something happened that shattered any lingering doubts. One evening, while she was in the shower, her phone lit up. I glanced at the screen and saw a message preview. "Can't wait to see you again. Last night was incredible." My heart stopped. My hands trembled as I unlocked her phone. She had never changed the password. And there it was. A long thread of messages, each one a dagger to my heart. Laura had been having an affair with a man named Ryan. I scrolled through the messages, my chest tightening with every word. "You make me feel alive. I wish I could be with you all the time. He's so boring now. I don't think I love him anymore." That last one gutted me. 15 years. 15 years of love, sacrifices, and devotion, dismissed with a single text. I sat there in silence, gripping the phone so tightly my knuckles turned white. I could have confronted her right then, but no, I wasn't going to give her the satisfaction of knowing I was broken. Not yet. If she thought she was going to walk away with her fantasy, I was going to make sure she felt the full weight of reality crashing down on her. It was time to play the long game. I spent the next few weeks preparing. I copied all the messages, took screenshots, and gathered evidence. I contacted a lawyer, ensuring that when the time came, I would come out of this marriage without losing a single thing, except for the woman who had already thrown us away. Then I did something she never saw coming. I pretended I knew nothing. I acted normal. I kissed her goodbye in the morning, told her I loved her, and even brought home flowers one night, just to see if she'd feel guilty. She didn't. Instead, she looked almost annoyed, like my love was an inconvenience. That's when I knew Laura was already planning to leave me. So I gave her the perfect opportunity. I told her I had a business trip coming up, a whole weekend away. The moment I mentioned it, I saw something flash across her face. Excitement. She thought she was getting a free weekend with Ryan. What she didn't know was that I was going to be watching everything. The night before I left, I set up small security cameras around the house. They were discreet, hidden in places she'd never think to look. I also left a voice recorder under our bed just in case. Then, I kissed her goodbye and drove away. But I didn't go far. I parked a few streets away and watched the live security feed on my phone. Less than 2 hours later, he arrived. Ryan. Tall, cocky, full of himself. I watched as Laura greeted him at the door, wearing lingerie, something I hadn't seen her wear in years. They laughed, kissed, and within minutes, they were all over each other. I clenched my fists, every part of me screaming to storm in and destroy them both. But I held back. Not yet. Instead, I recorded everything. The next morning, I made my move. I called a few of our closest friends and family members and asked them to come over for a big announcement. Everyone was intrigued. Laura had no idea. At noon, I walked through the front door. She was sitting on the couch, relaxed in her robe. When she saw me, her face went pale. "You're home early," she stammered. I smiled.
Yeah.
"Change of plans." "Oh, and we have company coming over in an hour. Hope that's okay." She blinked, confused, but didn't question it. An hour later, our living room was filled with her parents, my parents, and a few close friends. Laura was nervous now. She kept glancing at me, trying to figure out what was going on. I stood up, cleared my throat, and said, "I wanted to share something important with you all." Then I grabbed the remote and played the footage. The room fell silent. On the TV screen, Laura and Ryan's affair played out for everyone to see. Every kiss, every touch, every whispered "I love you" exposed. Laura gasped, her hands flying to her mouth. "Mike, please." I cut her off. "Save it." Her mother was crying. Her father looked like he wanted to strangle someone. My own parents were too stunned to speak. And then I dropped the final bombshell. I pulled out the divorce papers. "Laura, I know you were planning to leave me for Ryan. So I did the honors for you. The house? It's mine. The bank accounts? Frozen. You'll leave with exactly what you came into this marriage with, nothing." She broke down, sobbing, begging. "Please, I didn't mean for this to happen." I laughed. "You didn't mean to cheat for months? You didn't mean to tell him you don't love me anymore? Spare me, Laura." She turned to her parents. "Mom, Dad, please." But they just shook their heads. And just like that, she lost everything. Laura tried reaching out for weeks. Apologies, begging, everything. But I was done.
Ryan?
He ghosted her the moment he realized she had no money, no house, and no future. She ended up moving in with a friend, jobless, broke, and alone. As for me, I moved on. It wasn't easy, but I found peace in knowing I had the last laugh. Because in the end, she chose another man, but was left with nothing but regret. Thanks for reading my story. If you want more real-life tales of betrayal, karma, and the ultimate revenge, hit that subscribe button. Some cheaters never learn, but some learn the hard way.